Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 17.
We got a lot of things to get into. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Listen here. I just want to thank y'all, even though we still got 30 more episodes of Married at First Sight. I just want to thank y'all for showing us love, leaving y'all comments, subscribing. We are close to 6,000 subscribers. We need just a little over 500. I think we could do it in this video. Blair, you ready?
I'm ready.
Walk us through this, please.
We see Juan FaceTime his parents. He's telling them that he hasn't built that romantic connection up with Carla, and they're telling him that it's up to him on what he decides.
Hey, listen here. I just don't want nobody to lose the plot. Even though Juan was the one that went to David, basically said, hey, man, what is the goal here? Basically giving all that good advice. Do not forget that Juan was a menace to Carla in the sense of he did not come here ready to be married at first sight, right? And I see it as a menace because he did everything in his power to basically dangle the carrot in Carla's face. And I think eventually Carla kind of figured it out and be like, you know what? You're not going to give anything. I'm not going to give anything. I think it is actually sad that Juan went through this whole experience basically, if not worse, the same than he did when he first entered it. Like Juan is no saint to me. You get what I'm saying?
So we see Madison and Allan meet with the experts to have a final discussion. Allan gets there first. He has been aggravated, and Pastor Cal apologizes to him for what happened.
Yeah.
Madison comes in. She apologizes to him for hurting him. It wasn't intentional or planned with malicious intent. She should have been more honest in the beginning, and she did not handle the situation well. She does, however, see that he did put a lot of effort into the marriage.
Okay.
Allan says that if I were having another connection, or if you were having another connection, why make me go through the dates and dangle this carrot of hope in front of me? Madison said that she didn't have her mind made up right away. Every date she went on with Allan was real, and she wanted to find her person. She should have been more honest that she didn't see Allan as her person.
Why are you still lying for? You're caught.
Yeah.
The hard part is over.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I meant when I say, like, be a good villain. Like, the hard part is literally over. You don't even have to explain yourself. You don't even have to apologize, really. But you over here talking about the dates was real. You talk about the dates where y'all was about to go, what is that thing where they glided on like a zip lining?
Yeah.
Right? So you telling me the dates where y'all about to go zip lining and he said, you know, I can see it's forever, and you was like forever's a long time. You talking about the dates where you call yourself Switzerland in the marriage? Like what? Why are you lying for?
Exactly.
I don't understand it.
And yet when she gets around David, she can say, I'm tired of faking. I'm tired of pretending. I can't do this no more. It's just like, Madison, you knew when you were done, and you just dragged that man along.
Yeah.
Allan knew that he shouldn't have had to work as hard as he did to get her to like him. She's been playing a game with David for weeks, and he thinks it's repulsive. He thought highly of her, that she wouldn't be that type of woman. Madison says she came to apologize, and she doesn't have anything else to say. She can sense his anger. She doesn't think anything she says is going to make it better, and his opinion of her will not change. She doesn't really see what the point of this is, and Pastor Cal says it's for closure. Allan says he doesn't need closure. Madison is easy to get over. It's like a switch in his mind. He doesn't have any questions. Her words don't hold any value, and David is dirt to him. Madison said that she's not going to dwell on it. She's going to move forward with her life. Pastor Cal asks, does that mean moving forward with David? And Madison said she's going to focus on healing herself first. Dr. Pepper thought that she was trying to get to know Allan at first, but she sees that she was trying to get to know someone else. Pastor Cal tells Allan not to lose hope, and then we see in Madison's confessional that she thought that he seemed spiteful. She thought they could at least have a conversation where he could look at her, but she sees that he doesn't think she deserved that. She does have feelings for David, and now they can move forward.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I'm with Allan. I don't need closure from this girl, honestly. I feel like Michelle did enough digging for us to figure out what happened. And honestly, I'm tired of seeing her for real. I mean, she's not going to be honest. She's not going to get vulnerable. She's not going to actually do the work of being actually and legitimately apologetic to Allan. She's saying the words so she can move on and have fun with David. So I'm like, what are we sitting here talking to her for? She has no remorse for real.
That's why I'm like, hey, when we take the mask off, Madison, you're really a villain. Like, I'm talking about like your character. So just play the role. I don't understand I never understand why the person who hurts the other party needs healing. Like, you hurt them. So she got an attitude, because I won't forgive, or I'm still angry at the fact that you lied to me for all these weeks.
Right.
And even at the end of it, you was the one that didn't even have the decency to tell me. But yet you're like, he's coming off as spiteful. You're lucky I'm here. like truth be told, I'm just like you, but I don't need no closure. Listen here, man. There are some relationships that I was like, you know what, this is over, and I just left, right? And I don't think about them no more. I think Allan, everything that Allan said, we have said in our deep dives. I think Allan would be all right. Matter of fact, I know Allan would be all right as long as he don't punish the next person for this and things of that nature. But truth be told, Madison's not sorry. That's why I'd rather her come in and just basically say, look, I care about my happiness, right? I'm sorry that you feel this way. Do like you know how people give that fake apology?
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry you feel this way, but
if I did something to you.
If I did something to you, you get what I'm saying? Like, be a villain. Like, but don't come over here wanting some sympathy and want some like brownie points for like coming in and basically trying to apologize to Allan. Allan don't want to talk to you, and I agree.
Yeah. So Carla's with her sisters. She's telling them that the friendship is there with Juan, but no one is really saying where they're at, so it's hard for her to be vulnerable with him.
Yeah.
For this to work, he would need to actually say the words that he's interested and wants to move forward with her.
To me, that sounds like Carla always like, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, because Carla knows like she deserves more in a marriage than this, especially with as much love and vulnerability that she wants to be able to give to a partner.
Yeah.
She wants to receive it too, and she knows that Juan just isn't her person.
This may be a detour, but hear me out on this, right? I have a good number of female best friends, like probably like 5 maybe. And when I say like best friends, I'm talking about platonic. There was no type of sexual, even intimacy, hand-holding, nothing. Complete platonic female best friends and things like that. I don't think she could be friends with Juan, right? There has never been a female friend that I ever had that downgraded to friendship. It's rather start that way, and this is a position that you don't promote in. You get what I'm saying? You don't get no promotions. Once I put you in your role of who you are in my life, that is a forever role. I think the way that Juan was not open in this process for Carla, she should not be looking for a friendship in Juan, in my opinion. Because even in those little things, especially when we go find out near like the end of what was basically Juan's stumbling block, that's not a good friend. A friend that doesn't communicate,
right.
A friend that doesn't even go to your feelings. It's one thing if, hey, I really tried, I gave you what you wanted and things like that, and it just didn't work, then maybe then. But Juan wasn't even a equal participant in this marriage. I don't think she should be friends with Juan at all.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think he did worse than friend zone her. I think he basically sister zone her.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so anyway, so Michelle meets with the experts. She thinks that they're more involved as far as Madison and David than she's been told when it comes to the intimacy thing. David arrives. He apologizes. He didn't have any intention to hurt her. He caught feelings for Madison. He should have told Michelle what he was feeling so that way they could work on their issues. Dr. Pia asks why he's being defensive. And David says that he's checked out mentally. Like, he wants to be done with this. And when he's checked out, he shuts down. Pastor Cal, so this is how you are. So when there's too much going on, you check out. How do you think that's going to work in relationships moving forward? David thinks that his partner is going to help him with that issue. And it's asked of him, well, isn't that your responsibility to work on yourself, essentially? And David says, well, someone asking how he feels can help. Dr. Pia says you're making a case for why you did what you did. Your apology doesn't sound genuine. And at what point do you take responsibility for your actions as an adult?
Facts.
He says he's taking responsibility for his actions. He's just checked out. Pastor Cal asks him, well, how do you check back in? David says that he has to take time for himself to make himself happy, and pursuing Madison is going to be part of his happiness. David asks Michelle, well, did you even really care about me? She says she did. She was loyal to the marriage, and she treated him with respect. And she asked if he cared about her, and he admits that he did not and does not care about her. Michelle asks, so why drag me along? And David says, well, because I didn't think you really cared either way. Pastor Cal says that she was still in the marriage and she admitted that she was developing slowly. Okay. David is putting his head back. He's shaking his legs. He's rolling his eyes. Looking real childish.
He was.
He takes his ring off and just puts it on the table mid-conversation. And Pastor Cal's pretty much like, I mean, we all knew this was over. So, I mean, that's not like you're really doing something when you put that down. Like, the marriage is done. We get it. And he says he's done answering questions pretty much. Dr. Pia says that she hopes that he does some deep reflecting and she has lost all respect for him.
Do you want to go first or me?
I'll go first. Yeah, David is a big man child. And I feel the same way how I feel with Madison. I didn't need this closure because what are we actually talking about? His apology isn't genuine.
No.
He's bringing up Madison during the apology. So it's kind of like, are you trying to throw her in Michelle's face? Like, Michelle doesn't really want you, but y'all were grimy. Y'all, were doing this and it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
So... And then the fact, I feel like he's being really disrespectful to the experts as well. They're trying to sit here and have this conversation with him. They chose you for the show. You were sitting up here answering all their questions when it was to your benefit. But now that you got the girl that you want, you can't sit up here and have a normal conversation like an adult.
Facts.
It's annoying and it's irritating. And I really liked the line of questioning that Pastor Cal had, even Dr. Pia, when they're like, so you understand that even if you don't want to be with her, the fact that you check out and you disengage and this is how you act, this is a problem. And this is something that you're going to need to fix. And for some reason, at 36, at his big grown age, he doesn't think that he needs to work on himself.
Yeah.
His partner needs to work on him and fix him. And it's just mind blowing, but it also speaks to the fact of why he is a grown man living in his parents' basement with no plan, money he's talking about he's going to have, careers and opportunities that he thinks he's going to get when he hasn't really done much for himself in life as far as we can see. So, I mean, it tracks. Yeah. It tracks. So I don't need the closure. David, Madison, have fun in the basement. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, okay.
And then another thing with Dr. Pia, her talking about she lost all respect for him. Good. I'm glad you did. I'm glad he heard it from you. I'm glad it was said. Was it professional? No. But I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I wish you would have said it to Ikechi too. Tell all these people that they trash.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Dude, you know one thing I love about being a human?
What's that?
Because I have the ability to change my mind. Not only do I have the ability to change my mind, I have the ability to think multiple points at the same time.
Yes,
right?
Let's hear it.
So I don't have to... Everything doesn't have to be aligned to one point. I can hit multiple points because I'm human. So let's start with who do I blame for this? Let's go with number one, the experts, because y'all wanted David on this show. And don't try to get it over me, because me and Blair usually don't watch the matchmaking episode, but we went back during the season to watch the matchmaking episode. We seen the visits that Pastor Cal made to that house, and he knew he was a basement dweller. We seen the episodes where Dr. Pia was bringing that iPad and basically saying, David is what you wanted, and you were trying to sell David to Michelle. So don't even try to make it seem like, don't be mad when a kid act like a kid. You knew he was a man child the minute that you was on that man's porch, or rather his mother's porch, Pastor Cal, and you asked David, are you ready for marriage? And he looked at his mama and his mama answered.
And the fact that you was sitting down on that couch, on the corner of the couch, because he had the Doritos and chips and stuff in the cracks. So come on, Pastor.
So like the experts, the expert can try to get on their high horse and and basically ride into the sunset, basically saying, "Hey, Michelle, you did a good job. You were so developing." But we could go back to the matchmaking episode and we could say, if we saw the signs, and as much as people want to say that we should be experts on the show, I ain't go to school for this.
Yeah, and I tell everybody to break up.
Yeah,
so y'all would hate me. There'd be no season.
Y'all would hate us too. You get what I'm saying? So like y'all ain't gonna trick us and make us fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Talk about y'all are good at this. Y'all should be experts. No, I'm not. Nah. I'm not good at this. So don't make it seem like that. Hey, this was something that was a surprise to y'all, because we saw it in the matchmaking episode. Y'all saw it in the matchmaking episode as the people who watched the show as well. So don't let them insult our intelligence. Pastor Kyle, you are the reason for this. Dr. Pepper, you are the reason for this. And Dr. Pia, you are the reason for this, because you expected a child to act like a man. Number two, I think y'all expect me to take my foot off Michelle's neck, and I won't, right? This whole idea that I got to give some blame to David too, because David, you couldn't even be mature for 8 weeks to like basically keep your shirt clean, to not throw up on yourself, and now you gave this girl an out where whole time she's over here talking about I was developing slow. Yeah, I may not ask how were you doing every day, but that don't mean I didn't care about you. What are you talking about, Michelle? Shut up. Like all this whole thing talking about like, even listen here. Michelle is not the reason why David cheated, right? As much as he want to put it on her and things of that nature and basically say, you know, someone who cares about me, someone who asked me how my day was, I know more about her than my wife. Listen here, David, as a man, even though you may not act like it, you made the choice to basically build a relationship with Madison. But let's live in reality. Michelle did not make that home or vacation even a good dwelling place for David to be, right? I'm not saying that caused him to basically be with Madison, but don't try to make it seem like you treated the marriage with respect the whole time. David just upped you and basically outdid you with the disrespect when it comes to the marriage. That's all it is.
Yeah. Y'all were both disrespectful.
Yeah, y'all both were disrespectful. David just outshined you in that. That's all. So don't try to make it seem like you was wronged or as if you wanted David and things of that nature. I think, truth be told, you are embarrassed. And guess what? I have no I can respect that you are embarrassed because no one should or deserve to be cheated on. Facts,
and
right?
Lied to in that way.
And then on top of that, lied to, especially Denise. You know what I mean? all these tender girls.
It's like now you acting like I'm stupid, so I'm really on your behind.
So
okay?
I understand that, but do not come into this experience or this decision day in front of these experts wanting a pat on the back because you were developing slowly. Stop it. You cried on the first day at the wedding in the bathroom because you found out that he smoked and drank and he lived with his mama and things of that nature, and you did not ask him about how his day was. You did not ask anything about him to the fact that he asked something about your father and you said, don't talk about my daddy. I watched the show.
Yes.
Like don't try to pull the wool over my eyes. Don't try to pull the wool over my friends' eyes who are watching the show with me, who are commenting and things of that nature.
We all seen it. We watched it together.
Who's even giving their money on super thanks and things like that. I'm not gonna let them insult y'all like that.
Right.
So number one, I blame the experts for trying to sell David. Number two, I blame David because David, you a man and you need to take accountability. And Michelle, even though you're not to blame for you getting cheated on, do not try to act like you came into this experience giving respect to David and the marriage. You disrespected the marriage. David just did it worse than you. That's all. I think I did good on that one.
You did amazing.
Thank you, baby.
Yes. So Juan and Carla. Juan and Carla.
Okay.
Spend time in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And Carla is talking about how there wasn't reciprocation in the marriage.
There wasn't.
Juan was confused during the honeymoon of what she wanted versus what he was giving her. Carla always wanted him to be authentically himself and see if they could intertwine their lives. She accepted him in the process for what it was, and he thinks that they made a good team. I really think that when Carla got upset with him and did her petty thing of putting his clothes in a plastic bag, I think he said, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Because even before that, he was saying she's pretty beautiful. Like, she's a good looking woman.
You talk about during the honeymoon, right?
Yeah, during the honeymoon.
Okay,
But once that happened, once he said that he forgot about her and all that type of stuff, and she reacted the way that she did, I mean, Juan wasn't able to get his head back in the game. Yeah. I really think that's what it was. But at the same time, I don't put that on Carla. We all have things that we need to improve and work on. Of course. The fact that Juan had no type of grace or bounce back to be able to work on the situation, that also tells me that he wasn't ready for marriage. Because how you going to be mad at one thing your partner does and then you can never get back on track with them again? Like, that's no way to have a long-term relationship. So
yeah, Juan is weaponizing his incompetence. And the whole thing I didn't know. They sit in this. Listen, they might as well should have been sitting in two separate hot tubs because they was not sitting close to each other at all.
Right.
Feet not even touching.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I'll say this, right? You hit a perfect nail on the head when it came to the honeymoon. You got to go back the reason why she was doing it. Because he said out his mouth, I forgot you was here.
Right.
I wanted to chill with a guy that I met after you. With David. So I played a whole day for David because he was going through whatever he was going through with Michelle, and I forgot you was here. What are you talking about, bruh? Like even though we can all look at everybody's experience and say, Carla, should you have been in that type of payback mode that early during the honeymoon? Maybe not. You get what I'm saying? Maybe not, because you barely know the guy. But at the same time, let's not act like the honeymoon the honeymoon wasn't yesterday. There was enough grounds for Carla to do what she had to do, which I believe she done enough until she realized that it wasn't going to happen. You get what I'm saying? There was enough time between the honeymoon and decision day that if Juan wanted to be with this woman, he would have been with her.
Right.
You know?
So Thomas and Camille go out for dinner.
Oh my goodness.
He's feeling good about decision day. He's, been thinking about logic and longevity and all that is going to play into his decision.
Yeah.
She asked him about his plans for living together after decision day. She's trying to get a solid answer from this man. Thomas says that it's going to take time to move in together after decision day. He'd love her to move in with him, but he doesn't have the space to support that.
Oh my gosh.
Camille needs more security in the plans to help her say yes. And she tells him that directly.
Yes, she does.
Thomas tells her, well, decision day is their next move. Other things just aren't as concrete. He doesn't know if she's going to say yes. He has plans and a timetable in his head to pursue a family in a few years. And Camille lets him know, well, I need to hear the plans in your head.
Yeah.
That is what's going to make me feel more secure. Thomas has been his most vulnerable in this process, and he tells her that he hasn't felt like he's seen her vulnerability. Camille says that she does want to loosen up and tap into her softness, but a lot of the lack of vulnerability is also related to his lack of planning. It makes it feels like he is being too complacent for her.
Me first on this one.
Yes, go ahead.
We did a deep dive in. We gonna do a deep dive on this one as well. About Thomas. Where are we going to live? Like that's a simple question. He goes on. I don't know if he said it this conversation. He said a whole bunch of nothing. You get what I'm saying about Camille like long-term plans, and like with me, I have a hard time planning 5 years out, or maybe I only go to 5 years and things like that. 5 years is not tomorrow, but this is urgent though. You get what I'm saying? Where are we going to live? And for Thomas to basically use the conversation to basically bring up another issue that Camille is dealing with, being vulnerable. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's one thing I do not like. Let the issue be the issue. And this is not a new issue. This is an issue that I talked about before episodes ago. If I was Camille talking, right? Where are we going to live? Here's the thing about it. There's no right answer. Excuse me. There's no wrong answer, right? That's the whole thing that Tom is not understanding, is that even if you was to say, hey, for 3 months, we're not going to live together. We are going to stay in our apartments because I want to make some more money so I can break this lease. That is a plan.
Yeah.
There is no wrong answer.
Give an answer.
So the fact that he doesn't give an answer, I think y'all already know what their answer is, so we're not spoiling anything. I don't see this marriage lasting. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm sorry. Because Thomas I can understand that people change. But there are certain things that make a person that person, and I think this is what makes Thomas. You get what I'm saying? The fact that he's indecisive when it comes to being a leader and things like that. And I'm gonna go into detail in the deep dive. But one thing that I've learned when I was getting mentored about marriage and things like that. This guy that I look up to their marriage, he said to me, there is no such thing as not a leader in a marriage. And he was talking to me. He wasn't talking so much of men being a leader and women not being a leader. He was basically saying there's no such thing as, oh, she is the leader and I'm not the leader, or basically he said it's only good leaders and bad leaders. There's no such thing as I'm not a leader. So in every marriage there is a point to where, guess what, Blair would have to lead. And there's no such thing as she just dropped the baton and not participate in the marriage. There's a such thing as I'm gonna have to carry the baton and lead. There's no such thing as me just dropping and be like, well, this is not my thing. No, Thomas, you're being a bad leader right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I told Chris while we was watching it, I would have to start yelling at him because he don't hear me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start banging on the table because this is like the third time Camille has brought up this conversation, and her tone has been so sweet and so nice about it. Maybe I gotta yell at him. I really don't know.
No, because
because you're not hearing her. But maybe she gotta raise her voice a little bit.
But you can't yell because what his response is gonna be. You see, I need to see you cry. You need to cry more because I only see you cry one time during the Holy Spirit.
Then I'm gonna get up.
There are people who just don't cry, Thomas. You know what I'm saying?
But also beyond the yelling and the hollering that I would have been doing at this point, I think that Thomas, I don't know if he doesn't have a vision and a path for himself, he's going to find himself in the same place he's been for all these years of not having kids, not having a wife, being in these long relationships that fizzle out because he doesn't make a move. And now he's at the age of 42 to where he's trying to catch up to his brother and start his family and all this type of stuff. But this lack of direction is what's caused him to be stagnant in his life. And I see that he pushed himself and went out of his comfort zone by joining Married at First Sight, so that way somebody externally could make him do the things that he can't do himself. But with Camille being the type of person that she explains herself to be as someone who takes charge, but she would prefer to take the back seat in her marriage at times, this is going to be really frustrating. And I think that, yes, there is room for patience and grace in allowing the space for your partner to grow. But when somebody is 42 and like stuck in their ways, like how much room can they actually grow? And that's the big question. I think that at any age, people can grow and change and all these types of things, but there is such a thing as people getting set in their ways. So at this point, I mean, Camille's married to him. She, you know, as we see, she had decided to stay married to him. So at a certain point, you kind of accept your partner for who they are if they have other good qualities, and maybe that's just not a good quality he has. It had me hollering though. I'd be yelling. So David and Madison go on a golfing date. I didn't want to see this.
Okay.
I wasn't interested. I don't really care about them pursuing each other. I'm not mad or anything because, you know, hey, live your life. But for me to watch it and have to actually talk about their connection is disgusting to me. Like, this is not fun. This is like, I feel like twisting the knife into the whole show and to the expectations of like what the viewers want to see when we watch the show. Like, this is not entertaining to me. This is weird.
Okay.
Anyway, David asks how she's feeling. Madison says that she's feeling more like herself and happier. Things with David are easy, not pressured or forced. David is at peace and happy. He wants to continue to spend more time with her. He says he's nervous because his feelings for her are strong, and Madison tells him that her feelings are strong as well. She doesn't want to downplay her feelings because it's been fun and easy.
I don't know why they are acting like or trying to give us scenes as if like this is like a courting date. You know what I'm saying? As if this is like a first date. This golfing date is probably date 19 for them.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, here's the thing about it, right? I would accept it. I don't agree 100% of what you're saying, Blair, but I agree about 90%, right? I want to see it.
Okay.
But my thing is, I want to see the true essence of it. I don't want to see the fakeness of it. Like, this is fakeness of it. Like, I just want to let you know, Madison, like, I got a crush on you. I don't want that type of stuff. I want someone to basically live in their truth, no matter what the truth is. The thing about it is, guess what? If y'all are villains and y'all fell in love and things of that nature, and y'all want to go on a date and it want to be filmed, have a real date to where y'all are in your true essence. Don't try to make this like a Lifetime movie or Hallmark card. Like, you know what? I have a crush on you, and you know what? Well, I have a crush on you too. Like no. The thing about it is, both of y'all are villains, and Madison the biggest villain to me when it comes to it, because you hurt somebody and don't make it seem like. I know Allan has some things about him that was weird. His wardrobe got a lot better. I seen him wearing the jackets and the suits and things of that nature compared to what he was wearing before, where he was just looking silly.
But like, look at David,
right? But my thing is, I don't think you remember those before pictures with Allan. Allan came there looking silly one time, right? Okay. And if I find that picture, I'm gonna post it. But it was one picture I was like, "Where are you going, Allan?" Right? But Allan wasn't that bad. Right. And for Madison to make it seem like David's strife, if he have a real strife, is the same as her strife, is totally different. Like, so that's why I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with you of, hey, if we're going to see it, let's see the real thing. Let's not see this fake stuff right here, you know?
Yeah. And also Madison, like, she just comes across as such a snaky, spineless individual.
She is.
Because how, in one essence, she's talking to the expert saying that she needs to do some healing for herself. Yeah. But in front of David, she's talking about her feelings are strong and, you know, she doesn't want to downplay her feelings. So nothing this girl says says we really know whether it's true or not. Like it's, and same thing with David. So it's going to be interesting to see how two liars actually have a relationship. Well, it's not interesting to me because I don't want to see it.
Okay.
But you know, they gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So Juan and Carla chat. Decision day is the next day. They are going to spend some time apart to think things over. Carla said that the intimacy came to a standstill and she's wondering if there's something more there or not. Juan tells her that it didn't feel organic for him to make that move and to figure out how to grow a romantic connection, compromise on the spiritual stuff. Sometimes the spiritual stuff was a little bit too much for him. And Carla asks, well, what was too much? And Juan says, just, you know, the cards. He didn't know if it would happen all the time. And Carla asks him, did it happen all the time? He's like, it just happened once. She's like, one time in the 2 months. And that was you stepping into my world. She makes it clear that she wasn't going to push any of her beliefs onto him, but she was trying to expose him and show him the things that she was interested in.
Yeah.
He liked how open she was to different experiences. The communication was good, and he hasn't been able to successfully communicate with partners in the past. She likes that they were able to learn from each other, and they end up having a dance party before Juan leaves.
Me first again on this, right?
Yes, let's hear it.
One, stop weaponizing your incompetence. Right? Don't try to be like, oh, I didn't know that was a one time. I didn't know you wasn't trying to push that on me. Because if I remember correctly, and I do remember correctly, by the way, that while Carla says she wasn't trying to push whatever she was into on you, you was constantly trying to push whatever you was into on her.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to my wife, and don't lie to my friends. All I seen through this whole time is you riding a bike through the city, and then basically making her feel bad because she don't wake up as early as you, right? Making her feel bad because she's not as organized as you. Mind you, he had a TV on a drywall cart. Don't tell me how organized he is, right? Or this business guy that he is, right? Mind you, he can't communicate, right? Mind you, all these things that he said that, oh, I didn't know that you wasn't trying to push it on me. You have tried to make her basically a female version of you, and basically criticizing her because she doesn't do what you do. She's not as organized as she is. And even when she came in with her whole resume during this one time while y'all having sushi, you couldn't even have the decency to not eat sushi while she's over here giving her presentation. One, do not try to fool me into not thinking that you're not a menace, right? You may speak soft, or you may be funny, or you may come with this toxic positive side of you, but at the end of the day, like, you was not a good husband or a good partner for this experience at all. You get what I'm saying? Yeah,
and that's what got me too, is when, like, you had 8 weeks to talk to Carla, to tell her if things were too much, if you weren't feeling certain things, and you decide not to tell her.
Yeah.
You just go along with things and participate in all the things that she wants to do, and she thinks that she is trying to expose you to new things or things that she's interested in, so you can actually get to know her as your wife. But instead of taking those as opportunities to get to know her, you're judging her for it, and you're also creating this list of reasons why she could never be a partner for you, instead of actually communicating, I see this is what you like, but this is a little too much for me. Can we do something different today? He was not trying.
No.
Like, he also was not trying and being an active participant. He just saw her for how she was, and he did nothing in order to actually communicate and to make the issues that he was having internally to fix them in the relationship. So could see why Carla, I think she was getting a little agitated during the conversation because she was like, you have these issues and you never told me? Like, what are we doing here? We're having dance parties. That's what we're doing here.
I think
we're having dance parties and we're making jokes and all this type of stuff, so that way Juan doesn't have to get real.
Yeah, so, I think Carla is really peeking out. I thought she was about to turn up on him too. Yeah, because I was like, for her to say that only happened one time. So you're trying to color this whole relationship as if I was saging every day and things like that. And if you had a problem with it, say something.
Exactly.
But, it is what it is.
So Camille and Thomas are also going to spend some time apart and tonight to gather their thoughts before decision day.
Okay.
So we move on to Carla and Juan's decision day. The experts meet up to just share some thoughts before they come in. Dr. Pia says that they're hard to read. And she says being too nice and not expressing their concerns directly seems to be a problem. Juan. It may be a little bit of Carla, but I think Carla has just kind of been like, It is what it is.
Carla don't have no place to go. You get what I'm saying? Because she was coming on the show. She got her stuff out of storage unit. So I think at most she was using this time, hopefully, to plan where she was going to go after this. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it is what it is.
Dr. Pepper says that they may need more time to get to know each other. So we get to both of them there. He wasn't used to her spiritual beliefs, and he checked out when it was happening. Nobody knew. We thought that you were participating and enjoying. Nobody knew.
He checked out on the honeymoon. Unless she was saging or basically doing seances on the honeymoon and things like that. Like, I think he's lying. I think he's a liar, to be honest. I think everything about Juan is a liar, to be honest.
Carla says that she doesn't need a partner just like her. Differences are fine, and the magic is balancing each other out.
Facts.
Juan would want to be with someone who shares the same interests. He talks about how he goes to the gym. And Dr. Pia says, well, she's a Pilates instructor.
That man almost said, that ain't real.
Pastor Cal says, so you want her to do exactly what you like and want to do. Carla says, I mean, you can ask the person what time the gym works for them, if that's an interest that you're actually wanting to share with the other person. There was no physical touch, and there was just lack of care. Juan apologized that he couldn't give her the affection that she wanted. He just didn't feel the magnetism toward her. Pastor Cal tells him, you can do yourself a disservice by relying so heavily on your feelings instead of the values that a partner has. Yeah. So Carla says she wants a divorce because they weren't compatible, and Juan also wants a divorce.
Listen here, man. Like, there was nothing Carla could have done, right? Because even though he said, I want a partner to go to the gym, I don't know how many times he asked Carla to go to the gym. Maybe it was too early for her. And even if Carla would have said, okay, I go to the gym with you at 6 o'clock in the morning, Juan would have pushed it up to 4 a.m. Because Juan did not want a partner. Instead, he wanted to go to the gym with Madison and David. You know? So don't make for someone who over here preaching all this positivity, all that fake stuff that Juan be trying to do, right? Juan is a liar, and he's a phony, and he's a used car salesman. That's worse. You get what I'm saying? He's a used car salesman. If y'all have any, if there's any used car salesman, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the ones. I'm talking about the ones that they portray in the movies. You get what I'm saying? He is a phony. You get what I'm saying?
But I'm with you on the fact, especially Carla, when it's just kind of like, instead of asking me to go to the gym with you, or allowing me to prepare myself to wake up at 6 a.m. or whatever the case may be, you're going to sit up here and judge her for sleeping until 1. I rode my bike today for 2 hours, and look at Carla just waking up. Did you ask her to ride a bike with you as well? No. Did you ask her to do a workout class in the morning? So that's where there's that lack of effort. And like Pastor Cal says, you just want somebody who's just like you, and you're not willing to work with somebody. Yeah. So then we move on. Oh, also I wanted to mention, Juan got rid of that silly mustache when it came to decision day. And I think that that's something that some people do sometimes is, I'm going to make myself unattractive because I don't want there to be any type of effort from your side of trying to touch me, trying to actually have some type of intimacy with me. Goofy. So let me make myself into like a caricature of myself by having a goofy mustache. So that way you no longer try things with me. I mean, if we think about it, she tried to do the what is it? The lady who came in with the tantric or whatever thing like that. I think it's tantric. Yeah. And I'm just saying there are all these efforts that Carla was making to build intimacy, but I think his kind of final like stake in the sand or flag in the sand was, I'm gonna put on a silly mustache so we don't have to try to go down this road anymore. Man, but the thing is, when it comes to the experts and when he's going to get back in the dating field, now he wants to look presentable. Listen here, only thing he was missing with that mustache was a sombrero. That basically what he was doing. He was making a mockery. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm not a fan of Juan either. So we get to Thomas and Camille's decision day. Okay. Pastor Cal says that their relationship has been smooth. Yeah. And Dr. Pia knows that they're both committed to this and want to make things work. Dr. Pepper says that she's so used to a certain kind of swag that, you know, you do want your partner to have confidence, but it seems like Thomas has grown in that. Thomas arrives and Pastor Cal tells him that he can see the growth and the swag in Thomas. Yeah. Camille arrives. She she was surprised about how little he cared about being embarrassed, and he's not too cool for school, pretty much.
Okay.
Thomas likes her confidence, and she makes him believe in himself. Camille would like to not have to be the one to always be forward thinking. Thomas just says that she's a better planner. Camille says that he was in a 9-year relationship that fizzled out, and what if he gets to that point with her is
Facts.
one of her fears. Thomas says that he also doesn't want to get to a point where one of them just stops working on the relationship. Camille says him taking more of the leadership will help her work on her softness. So we get to their decisions.
Yeah.
Thomas has a basketball that says, let's stay married, and he gets on one knee, and Camille decides to stay married as well.
Listen, Camille better than me. I would have smacked the ball out of his hand. I'm trying to think. Should I say this for the deep dive, or should I share some of it here?
Give us a hint so that they come over.
That they come over. Well, y'all should come over anyway because y'all my friends, right?
Come hang with us.
Let's go, friends, right?
Exactly.
Here's my thing about it, right? I think there is something to your point. You said something that kind of like that turned on a light bulb for me. 42-year-old old dog learning new tricks, right? There's no such thing as no leader. There's just bad leaders, right? And I wonder when it comes down to it, when it comes down to the actual living experience, when it comes down to, hey, we don't have the apartment for you, we don't have the ceremony for you, we don't have the cameras for you, who is Thomas really, right? I understand that he may not be the type to, as Camille described him, to be embarrassed easily. He may even come off as a little goofy and things like that. That's fine. I don't think he's goofy. I just don't think he got a lot of swag. But it's fine, though. He's 42. He don't need swag. He needs a pension. You know what I'm saying? And like, he got it. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder, what was Camille's motivation of saying yes? Because everything she said should lean to no. Dude, you get what I'm saying? She don't know where we gonna live after today, right? She brought up the 9-year relationship that he stayed in and that he cheated on and that it fizzled out. Listen here, even though you may be changed, you got to take accountability that 9 years, there's a lot of years before we get to 9, right? I just want to know, what is Camille's motivation to yes? With all of these things. You get what I'm saying?
I want to dig into that in the deep dive too. I'm just going to throw a little nugget out there and pretty much say that Camille told us about some toxic relationships, and sometimes you just want somebody nice. But we can go into it deeper.
Okay. That's
a little bit later.
That's a tease. Yeah. Okay, look out for that between now and Sunday. Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
But I will just add to the conversation of their decision day. I think that Camille's just going to have to learn to accept him for who he is, and I think that is going to mean that she is going to be the leader in a lot of different ways, and if she is the person she is, I think that is going to be exhausting and irritating as hell. But if all of his good qualities outweigh it, it might be something she's willing to accept. I mean, in relationships, everybody doesn't have all the skill sets. And you hope that your partner learns some, but hey, at least for me, when it came to my marriage, and you guys know Chris is amazing, but there were certain things where I was just kind of like, I accept him for who he is and how he is today. If things get better, amazing. But I appreciate who he is as a person, and this can carry us into the end of our days, you know? So Camille, for Thomas, that just might be the thing that she's willing to take or leave.
Yeah, we will get deeper on this on our deep dive. I may put this one out first.
So the cast all comes together for a final get together, and Mem hugs and greets Ikechi.
Okay.
Juan tries to speak to things not being awkward, and then Madison and David arrive.
Oh boy, they came in
matching in red,
the matching Satan outfits. I ain't gonna hold you, I liked it.
So Allan says hey to them, but he tells David, I'm not trying to shake your hand.
Yeah, though. David, stop putting your hand out.
Yeah, we're not cool.
Yeah,
like we're not, like, you took my girl, like we're not friends.
Yeah.
So Camille and Thomas share that they're still together. Juan and Carla share that they are getting a divorce.
Yeah.
And Mem talks about how she came in open and vulnerable. She sees herself pursuing finding a partner in the future.
Yeah.
She put a lot into it, and her efforts weren't valued or matched.
It wasn't.
Ikechi says that it sounds like it's just like a political party conversation trying to get some votes. He wasn't around enough to say his opinion, and she didn't give her all to him because he said he's in the relationship, so he can say what he experienced. He has been insulted and made to feel small.
Sorry.
He leaves, and that's why they don't get to see him for who he is. MM says that Ikechi needs to be accountable that he came in with that divorce paper. He's 42 years old, and he needs to grow up. She continued to reach out to him because God's grace was in her, but he does not have that anymore. Ikechi doesn't want to hear her talk no more. Carla says this is triggering each other and this needs to end. She calls MM amazing, and I don't know you, Ikechi, you might be amazing. I really don't know because you don't be around us.
Blah, blah, blah. Exactly, yeah.
MM tells Ikechi that he has no soul. She was by herself for weeks and she did nothing but try to understand him.
Yeah.
So in the bathroom, we have Camille and Madison trying to console MM. And I'm wondering, Madison, why are you over here?
Okay.
I was hoping it was Michelle, but I saw them long extensions. And I was like, Madison, we don't want to hear nothing you got to say. We really don't. We really don't.
It's kind of crazy. And I think for Michelle, I think what she wants, she's not getting. She kind of gives a preview of it for the next episode. She feels like, how can David and Madison do the worst thing that they can do on Married at First Sight, but like they're still winning? Like in a way, it's almost as if like the group like accepts it. You get what I'm saying? Like they are not ousted, and that's why I feel like they all knew, because I'm like, y'all can say what y'all say at the retreat, but y'all kind of just like, hey y'all, you get what I'm saying? And when MM is crashing out in the bathroom, Madison there like, yeah girl, you get what I'm saying? like it's almost like, why do y'all like these people? Look what they did to me. So I can see Michelle's point of view there, but at the same time, Michelle, I think people knew how you was moving in the marriage too.
But my thing is with this MM going in on a catchy type conversation, I wasn't mad about it, honestly. She can drag him for as long as she wants. I mean, she was the one who came on this show to really be part of a marriage, and he abandoned her.
Facts.
And he insulted her, and he was basically trying to drag her character through the dirt and go as far as trying to say like she touched him or was trying to touch him without his consent. Drag him for all I care. I don't care.
Yeah. Listen here.
Every time you see him, whack him. I don't know.
It's funny because I had a different opinion until you said that, right? He did stonewall her and did all these things, all these bad things, right?
Oh, can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
And the only other thing I'm just going to say is, like, I get where people are like, oh, you got to hold yourself a certain way and you got to, be a lady and all this type of stuff. And don't allow yourself to drag yourself down to his level. She will never be at his level because she is not as awful as him. So as much terrible things as she says to him, she'll never be at his level. So I don't mind. Go off, girl.
Here's the thing. I'm going to say what I was originally going to say.
Sure.
Before you made me change my mind.
Okay.
What I originally was going to say was, get it all out of you because I don't want to hear about it no more. Right? Because I was like, don't let this be your story now. This is not even your cross to bear anymore. Right? Get it all out of you. I hope this is the end of it. We don't want to hear about it no more. Catchy don't want to hear about it no more, even though he looked like he was about to cry and things like that. Hey, you get one more pass and that's it. But after saying what you just said, I felt I made the mistake, right? Yes, Chris makes mistakes, right? I made the mistake of forgetting everything that she's been through and what that does to a person. So I apologize, right? Because I can 100% relate to MM in the sense of, hey, I can get us to the finish line. You don't even got to be the best husband. You don't even got to be the best Married at First Sight contestant. Just don't be my enemy.
Right.
Dude, you get what I'm saying?
She was willing to put up with
anything just for the sake of marriage. Now, you can judge that as that's high self-esteem, low self-esteem. I'm not here to do that right now, right? Maybe in the deep dive. But I'm like, I can 100% like relate to a Blair. Just hop on my back. I can get us there. Or so-and-so, hop on my back. I could get us there. I build businesses. I've done this. I know. Just jump on my back. Don't be an op to me.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because guess what? I already got oppositions that I'm destined to face. I already got challenges that is already predestined for me, as it's predestined for all of us. All I need, one thing that we went to Thanksgiving, and one thing that, you know how people get together when they're newly married and they just want to talk too much. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm never part of those conversations, right? But they asked me, what is one thing that you like about Blair or something like that? As if like I just like one thing. I married her. But one thing that is very important to me is that I have a partner, right? That she is for me, right? I could go on about a whole bunch of things, but it's very important for me to have a partner because I do have challenges that is predestined for me. I do have oppositions that is predestined for me because that's how life works. It starts with the mountains, then we go to the valleys. And you just want to hope that when you look to your right or to your left, that you have a partner that is willing to go through it with you. So I can attest and actually agree with MM when it comes to, hey, Akechi, you don't have to be this perfect spouse. But at the end of the day, you ain't got to turn your sword against me now.
Right.
You ain't gotta insult me. You ain't gotta do all these things to me. And guess what? It's her right to feel personal about that. Because she's like, I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to do the picnics. I'm willing to do the ice cream dates. I'm willing to go to Houston. You didn't invite me to Houston. I'm willing to do the experts. I'm willing to do these phone calls. I'm willing to not call. I want to do anything you need to get us to the finish line. But you was, as she said, he has no soul. You get what I'm saying? Because she's like, there's no way that you wouldn't want somebody like me on your team. So, like, I'm like, you know what, Blair? You're right.
And I do feel like if I'm sitting up here telling her, girl, I'm tired of hearing it, I'm making it about me. It ain't about me. She's the one who went through it. She can talk about it as long as she wants to.
Hell.
I know I've talked about things that people done to me for a while. Okay?
You're right.
And the thing is, I could be over it. I could be done with it. But at the same time, that person did me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's go.
Juan asks what David's been up to, and David says he's been pursuing Madison.
Yeah.
He tells Allan it just happened. It wasn't intentional. Allan says there was plenty of opportunity to be upfront. It is what it is at this point. He still don't want to shake David's hand. Sit down, David.
Stop putting your hand out.
Sit down. Juan says, I have hope that we can be friends.
Why?
Thomas jumps in and tells them, well, he holds his friends accountable. Did it start a long time ago? Were you guys just friends at the beginning? He's trying to get more information.
Yeah.
David says that it started as a friendship in the gym. He was getting the communication and attention, and it meant a lot to him. Madison says, well, we knew Michelle and David wouldn't be at the end together because Michelle didn't give a F about David.
Well, come on, Madison.
And Michelle was over by the bar with Carla and was like, Madison, you do not need to speak on my feelings. I'll be over there to speak for myself. And Madison says, okay, well, you can say it to my face. We can get the party jumping. And Madison was acting like she was about to be on go.
Let's go, babe. That's what Madison said. See, look, Madison. See, if you wasn't such a coward already that like I already saw, I would have liked if you would have showed up like this before, right? Because the whole time Michelle is at the bar talking under her breath and things like that, and then she want to act like she want to quote unquote like, oh, you don't know my feelings. Actually, she does. And that's why it's dirty on Madison's part. Because while you was over there venting about David and how much you don't like David and things like that, Madison was acting like a friend. So we're not going to act like Madison don't know the feelings. Madison's just dirty for what she did.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, I understand the outrage. I understand the, hey, don't be talking about me when I'm not there. Madison is on some like, come on, babe, let's talk. Because last time when we talked in the retreat, I was a coward, but now I got some courage. You get what I'm saying? Listen here. A little too late for me. You get what I'm saying? I wish I would have saw that at first. But hey, I'm very interested in how Michelle's gonna spin this about how she had feelings for David and that no one knew her feelings towards David, yet no one was surprised by Madison and Davis being together. I mean,
if I was Michelle, I don't have to explain my feelings to you because you was not in my marriage and you don't need to speak for my marriage. You came in and was being a hussy and took my man. Whether I was good to him or not, that's none of your business.
That's fact.
So I understand that Madison is over here trying to protect her man and all this type of stuff. But Madison, you have no reason to be upset with Michelle. You're the one who did the hoe activities.
That is true.
So if I was Michelle, I really don't care if I was nice to him or mean to him. It was none of your concern.
That's facts.
It was none of your concern. So
anything else?
That's all we got.
I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment. Listen here, I'm shooting for 500 subscribers with this video. Listen here, I know a lot of y'all watching it that are not subscribed. We are good. We are really good.
We have fun over here.
I think we are the best secret Because we're not popular at all, right? We are the best secret when it comes to reviews on YouTube. And guess what? I am all for the small channels. I'm all for the big channels. Shout out to everybody who's been trucking through this season, things of that nature. And all I want is just to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Anything else?
That's it.
We see y'all.
Bye.